Hello guys, Oscar here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video, where today we're going to be taking a look at how to build a Shulker box loader. Now to get started, we want to look at this thing and think, what does it do? Now a Shulker box loader, which I just realized is a little bit messed up in my case, there we go. A Shulker box loader will take raw items from a farm or something like that, and then load them into Shulker boxes that get completely filled automatically. So you don't have to worry about that at all, and you can just have a Shulker box like this one, full of buttons or whatever else, just being stored. They're very good for storage systems and farms, like I said, and they're just very useful overall. Now, how does this thing work? Well, you have two inputs. You have an item input, which is this hopper that I'm pointing at, down into here, and then you also have a raw Shulker box or an empty Shulker box input here, where you have all these empty Shulker boxes. And the way this works is when you hit this button, a Shulker box will get dispensed onto this block here. And when it does that, the items from the input here will start to flow in. Once the Shulker box is completely full, this piston will push down, and then that box will get broken and put into the chest, and a new one will be dispensed. So right now we have all this concrete being loaded in, and unfortunately with this design you can't actually see what's in the Shulker box because there's a block above it, but we can just sort of assume, and obviously we'll know that it's full because the piston will go down. The way it detects this is with a comparator. So this comparator here that I'm pointing at with my crosshairs, it's detecting how many items are in this Shulker box, and usually it would give an output based on how strong this or how full this container is. I actually have a complete video on how that works. You guys can check that out in the iCard above or in the description. But you can see it's not giving an output. If we do something like this, it's not, which is strange. And the reason why that is because it has this input here, which is basically what's comparing the signal strength. So it won't give an output until the signal strength from here, or the potential signal strength, I guess, is the same or greater than this one here. And with this, it's getting a signal strength of 15 from this torch. And with the signal strength of 15, it will be in a completely full container or a full Shulker box. Now through some piston breaking magic, basically I just broke my machine, we can see that this thing is almost full. So if we replace this piston so that it works right, and throw one more piece of concrete into this input hopper, we see that something happens. And what's happening here is, very briefly, this comparator is giving an output, and while it does that, this observer detects that change of state. You can see that they're different, that's a state change. When it does that, it shoots right into here and basically fires that piston twice because it turns on and off. And while it does that, the same input actually has a delay and goes and fires the dispenser, which reloads this thing, and it would in theory start filling up again. You can see here that we have a box of light gray concrete completely full. If we go take it out, completely full. And this is 100% reliable, unless of course you have something like an unstackable item coming through here, but it'll still take up a slot, so it'll still fill all the way. But that just depends on how well your sorting system works and stuff like that. So basically that's just how this works. Now let's get into building it. Now, to build this, you're going to need a 3x4 area, at least to build this exact model, unless you want to change something down here maybe. To build this exact model, you're going to want to build a 3x4 area with, I think it was 5 blocks of vertical space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of vertical space above it. So those are your space constraints, and you also want to make sure if you're building a lot of these that you don't have any redstone lines crossing or anything like that. So you might want to space them out with a block in between, just to be safe. But anyway, I like to start with the output chest, but of course this could be a hopper, this could be a furnace even. Well, not a furnace, they don't burn, that'd be weird. But this could be any output that you want, but I always just start right with that. Next you're going to want your output hopper here, and then you want to cap that off with a slab just like that. Next I would build the the detection system, which would consist of a comparator here to read the Shulker box, a comparator here, and then a block like this, and a torch like that. And just like that, you have the system for detecting how full your Shulker box is. After that, you're going to want to take your dispenser like this and put it on this side, facing towards this comparator like that. And that's exactly where you want to put it. And then put a stone button or a wooden button or any kind of power source on the side here. This is to kickstart the system, so when you want to load it up the first time, you can press that and it'll get the first Shulker box out there. Next, I would add my inputs. I always put sort of a temporary block here, and then we can go like this, like that for the item input, and then just a hopper like this for the shulker box input. And then these can run into wherever you want. This is where things would change if you had a certain system, and but this is sort of the general module. That's where I put it there to make it really compact. Then you're going to want to put in your piston, and I like to go down here and place it. I can't. And place it up against this hopper, just like that. And then you want to take your observer like this, some redstone dust like that, and then a block. And then this will be what fires the piston and breaks your box when it's full. At this point, we're almost done. Now you just want to take a block like this, a repeater set to 4 ticks like that for the delay, and then a block like that, and then blocks down here. And then this is where that line will go. It'll power this block and then trigger this line. That just makes it more compact. And then just go one block down like this, and there we go. Now, after this thing breaks the box, it'll reload it with a new fresh box from here. And after that, you're completely done. And there we have it. Pretty quick tutorial, but these things look a lot more complicated than they really are. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comments. And yeah, that's how you build a shulker box loader. This is my own design, as far as I know, unless somebody else has made the same exact one. There's a lot of designs out there because they all operate on the same principle, but there's a lot of different ways to do it. I've seen many where people take a chest like this instead of a block, and then they just fill it up like that, and that does the same exact thing. Only you could actually make it custom in this way if you wanted a shulker box that only did a certain benchmark, which would be a complicated thing, which it would be a certain percentage and stuff of this. I'm not going to get into that right now, but yeah, you could just do that. I like to go like this though. It's a lot simpler and a lot easier. And there we go. So with that rounds out our video. So I want to thank you guys for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. And if you haven't already, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing. That'd mean a lot too. But in the meantime, that's all I've got time for today, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.